Yeah, 1 second.
Not ready.
So hold on.
So we'll double check the levels. All right. Okay, we're good.
Wait, what's this episode called?
Episode 73.
Oh, no, it was that for one time. The Iron Throne is the actual title.
The Iron Throne.
Iron Throne. Ain't no behind the scenes or nothing. I went back 4 times.
Because they too busy
It
erasing.
was like, take that, niggas. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
They
We don't
doing
want to
no
hear
interviews.
explaining shit to y'all,
Listen,
motherfuckers.
they too busy cleaning up.
Fuck out of here.
They too busy
Fuck
cleaning
out
up
of
all
here.
the scenes.
Take it.
They too busy cleaning up all the scenes and shit. Removing cones and plastic bottles and trash can lids and all types of dumb
Do
shit.
you know that they stacked up like 18-wheeler containers to block like long range views, like the stuff that be on ships? They had like 5 rows of those.
That's
to block
cool.
People from
That's
seeing
cool.
What they were doing.
Whose views did they block when they left all the
That's
shit
cool.
on the? When they left all the shit on the.
Would you?
Whose
What do
view
you?
got blocked
What's?
for the plastic bottle to be on
God.
stage? Like, don't worry about everybody else's view, but y'all own. That's cool. Great.
The plastic bottle is clear, so obviously the editors didn't see it. They saw through it. Duh.
It's cool. I mean, listen.
Oh, okay.
The editors didn't see things.
And then what?
The editors didn't see things. The writers didn't see things. We ended up not seeing things. What? What happened? What's going
Come
on?
on, man. Wait till we get press record, because I know you love this.
Oh, no.
episode like I
I'm
did,
recording. This is pure cold open shit right here. I'm recording.
Oh, yeah,
brother.
perfect. You love this episode. You loved it. You
Really?
love this style, man. Yes,
Oh,
you
man.
did, man.
Wow.
This was Samuel Tarley in a nice bow underneath your Christmas tree.
No.
Yeah,
No.
writing a song of Am and Fire.
Let's get started so I can tell you how embarrassed I am of this show. Let's get started.
Embarrassed?
Oh,
Let's get
That's
started.
the word?
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah. We've been
all right.
preaching.
So Al's gonna take it from the top, and then we'll get on into it. It's called The Iron Throne, or just Iron Throne?
The Iron Throne.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome to the Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6 Series Finale Recap. The episode is called The Iron Throne, and so much happened, but here are just a few highlights. So, first of all, once again, did y'all peep the subtle changes to the opener? No more Lannister sigil over the throne, and the Red Keep is all fucked up, and the city is all in ruins. The episode opens with King's Landing looking like the Bronx circa 1981, and Tyrion taking the tour. Homeboy is headed straight to management and to the head of tourism, demanding his money back for this red getaway package that he got online. He goes scavenger hunting amongst the dead, looking for his legacy, and finds his siblings. Say no more, fam. Lannister, party of one. Grey Worm is still on his Angel of Death tip. And damn, Unsullied, formation much? Beyonce would be hella proud. And is it just us, or were the acoustics in that not quite an arena hella live? I mean, Dany delivered a somewhat believable tyrant speech, hyping up her army, but do we believe they could actually hear her? We are left to hope Tyrion updated his LinkedIn account before he tossed that hand sigil, because it was mad disrespectful. And holy sneak ups, Batman. Arya was like a barefoot superhero somewhere, like, I don't know, where did she come from? We know game recognized game, and Arya sees Dany and sees what's ahead. A killer knows a killer, and so she shares it with Jon. Next thing you know, a simple talk between a bastard and an imp leads to Jon shanking Dany like they were in Rikers. Yikes. What, pray tell, did you do to your auntie Aegon? Drogon's all, Mama! He burns down the throne and takes his mother, a dragon, somewhere off peacefully in a very beautiful sequence. Now we flash forward enough time for Jon to grow a beard and Tyrion to look disheveled as fuck, and oh my fucking god, is that little Lord Aaron all growed up and glowed up? Threats, jokes, one final Tyrion speech, and boom, Bran the Broken, ancestor of Bran the Builder, and the most unsuspecting ruler, is of course the most obvious choice to rule. Pet Rock for president. His slogan reads, "Why do you think I came all this way?" And now, let's start the full circle round. Tyrion back at the hand. The North is a sovereign entity. Jon back at the Night's Watch. The Starks rule the North. Yes, Sansa, get it, girl. Arya is back to exploring the world, and Bran protecting the realms. Shout out to Varys. Brienne adds, quote, "Left me in my house coat in the middle of the night in Winterfell to Jaime's Wikipedia page, Tyrion learns he's only in the King James version of the Song of Ice and Fire. Podrick is living his best life and living it like it's golden in this brand new phenomenal armor. Bronn is putting his bid in for a brothel reconstruction. And here's to hoping that Arya doesn't turn into a colonizer. Fingers crossed. Bran's gonna go now and find Drogon. Sansa's crowned queen in the north. And Jon, the last Targaryen, is headed north with the free folk and his second family and his first true love. Eddard and Catelyn couldn't be prouder of how their pack survived. And now his watch has ended and so has ours. Thank the old gods and the new. Thank the Lord of Light. Thank the many-faced God. Thank the drowned God. Thank the base God and the Night King and his icy self. Peace.
White Walker perpetuated offenses are considered especially heinous. In Westeros, 4 dedicated friends investigate and discuss these vicious episodes as members of an elite squad known as A Podcast Has No Name.
I'm Afro.
I'm Ambush.
I'm Castro.
And I'm Morg, and we are A Podcast Has No Name.
How do I say goodbye
Man.
to
I wish
what
I would have known this.
we
was-
had?
Me too. Oh,
The
feedback.
good
How did that happen?
episodes and the bad ones.
Hold on, you had to say
And
vocal cords for that? Oh, here we go.
No.
Okay.
No.
We have it. How do I say goodbye
To your HBO
to
subscription.
George R. Martin's writing and it's crazy? Yeah. It was better when I practiced it though.
Okay.
And if you want to throw some reverb on there, some auto tune, you be my guest, brother.
I will work it out. I
You
will work
be
it
my
out.
guest.
There will be some filters.
You auto
bro.
tune that thing out, baby. Come on. Afro. Are you alive?
Yes.
Afro. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
So how do I say goodbye?
Not with that damn song. I can't stand that song. It's gonna be stuck in my head for a week now.
It's been used on every sitcom, right, Af? Every sitcom has used that
I'm
song.
pretty sure everything
sad
ever
episode.
has used that song.
Yeah.
Y'all know
That
today
make
is
you like
the anniversary. Y'all know today's the anniversary of the last episode of Fresh Prince when Will was in the living room and everybody had left. Remember he was like,
Yikes.
Sheesh.
What anniversary? 20 years? 30? How old are we now? 50?
That's I wasn't dating it. I was just saying it. Oh my God.
Second
Wow.
anniversary.
I'm so tired of anniversaries. It's 2019. I read some shit like 99 is 30 years ago or 20. I don't
Stop
know
it.
how to count
Yes,
anymore.
it
And it's
is.
just like, what the
No,
fuck
it's
is
not.
going on?
It is. Yes, it is. It's That's 30 years ago. The 90s, y'all. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Trash.
So I
You know,
was
but I
triggered
get
when you said
better.
the anniversary. That's why that's what that was about. That had nothing to do with you, really.
I do just want to say that 1999 was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry.
not 30. Okay.
Wait, wait.
Thanks.
No, wait.
Edit that out.
No, in 20, but no, don't. By 2020, it'll be 30 years ago. We're about to be in our third decade.
Nigga, are you being for real?
Look, wait, 90s?
1999.
2010s.
She said 1999 was 30 years ago.
No.
It
He
is
said the
flatly
90s.
20 years ago.
He said the 90s,
I'm saying-
as in the beginning
Oh.
of it, as in when it started.
Okay,
the
well,
beginning
this
of the
is what happens when you piggyback someone else's conversation.
Well, no, I was just using decades, and y'all were using like the actual years. But like, you know when they mean 30
Yeah,
years ago.
The part we just
Yeah, sorry, Mom. All right, I'm gonna
Okay.
be good. I'm about to mute my damn phone.
No, you're not.
no, you're not.
All right. So today we're going to discuss Season 8, Episode 6, The Iron Throne, which is the series finale of the
Series.
Game
Series.
of Thrones.
Series. Whew.
Throny Thrones.
Do y'all know how significant this is for us? That we've been talking on the phone like this, maintaining
For years.
friendships that are hard to keep. People, I don't talk to half of them motherfuckers no more. And this show has kept our friendship alive. Through,
Yeah, because I would not be your friend otherwise. That,
Oh yes, you would. I would haunt you Haunt you, haunt you, haunt you.
Ain't
Okay?
got no choice.
I'm going to show up on the beach.
Oh
What you doing out here?
That's
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. You see the friendship bracelet?
Oh man. Yeah, these
I'm
were
not fond of
significant
the
shows
freak.
for our friendship. Definitely, Castro. I don't take that lightly. However, this show has not lasted the test of our friendship the way that I expected it to.
Get into it.
So
I'm
let's
ready to
start.
fight for my show.
I can't wait. Nobody's asked you to get your criminal justice degree and try and be a lawyer and out here PR person. Nobody needs an Avenatti. Okay?
An Avenatti.
Stop it. I will contend. I want to make a disclaimer that yes, I have become very defensive for my show, our show, because I mean, seriously, y'all. I read so much. I watch so many videos. I've never seen so many armchair reviewers pop up out of nowhere. I've never seen so many videos. I mean, it's a cultural phenomenon, yes, but so many people have an opinion. And I steeled up, so I was trying to hold my show down. But this episode, I definitely appreciated it. And let's get into it.
All right.
Okay. We're going to start with, and now our watch has ended, all the way ended. Overall thoughts and reaction for this episode. We will start with Afro today.
So overall, I would say I enjoyed the episode. I was wondering how they were going to tie up a few things, and I think that they essentially did that. I think the biggest thing that kind of like stands out for me is like the social commentary that the show was trying to say. I think there's like the plots, a lot of the plots and the way that the plots were resolved were frustrating, and the paces and some of the grievances and gripes that we had, I think were caught up in how the plots were coming into play. And then there's like the overall story of the show. If you look at the Stark family at the very beginning and at the very end. And then I think that there's like the social commentary, like what is being said about power and about ruling and freedom and like all of those things. So when I look at like the social commentary, I'm like, yes, this show is actually really amazing. And the story, from start to finish, where the characters, started and ended, and a lot of characters that I didn't really think would like be, like these big players later on, like Bronn or Brienne. And so like seeing their journey and the story of that, I think also well done for the most part and pretty phenomenal. But when it comes to like some of the plots and how those things played out, I'm still like a little displeased with it. But all in all, I was happy. I was good.
I love it. Ambush.
Well, I felt a little embarrassed, honestly.
Wow.
Like, welcome to regular.
Look, the condensation. Condensation. That doesn't even apply, but like you kind of being condescending and I'm saying condensation. It's a little play on words. I'm an MC. Just go with it.
All right. It's kind of like,
I'm an MC. Just roll with it.
Hey guys, welcome to regular
You listen
TV.
to a Playboy Cardi song?
I'm gonna try.
Petro,
I'm gonna
like
try to get
words.
this stuff out.
He said 2 words.
Dude, seriously, can I try to get the thought out at some point?
Yeah.
My guy, have you muted? That's awesome. Okay, so it's like welcome to regular TV, guys. Yay, we've spent all these years impressing you to not give a fuck. Give you a regular TV ass ending. They've risen above pretty much every show we've watched, only to give us a very, very ABC NBC ending. Like as far as me feeling embarrassed, like we've been talking up this show to a lot of people. Yo, you don't watch Thrones? Oh my God. To get this season, and that is okay. All right. So like, can we confidently move forward and tell people you gotta watch? If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, you gotta watch it. Can we tell them that, knowing this is how all of that work ends? This season is what they have to look forward to. Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
I really can't believe you didn't find anything thrilling in this episode.
It's
George R. R. Martin. Though.
No, it's not though.
Like
no, it's not. This isn't
yes,
George
it
R. R.
is though.
No, this isn't George R. R.
King Bran is. Come on, King Bran is. You know that.
This is like NBC, ABC ending to a TV show. Like it's the same thing with Sons of Anarchy. I know that last episode is 100% trash. So why would I tell someone to invest their time in watching however many seasons of it? Nah. So yeah, I'm not satisfied at all.
So you just throwing the show away. You like, fuck this, just put it in the trash. It's a wrap.
I appreciate all
no.
the
That's a yes or no.
Is it a bad? I'm trying to do a soft breakup,
a political answer of some sort.
You know what I mean? Like I appreciate the time we spent and put in. Like we have very good times. That time we went there.
Like a bullshit breakup.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes.
I met your kids. I'm always gonna love your kids. Always, they can always hang out with me. It's just we Uncle Ann. It's Uncle Ann now.
Each other, that's all.
There it is. Ooh.
No.
Okay. Hold on, Castro.
No.
We're gonna reel it in. We're gonna reel it in.
Yo, Af broke some hearts, boy. Listen. Af broke some hearts with that one.
Don't try to flip that on me. It's you. It's not me.
That rolled off the tongue too smooth. That's a go-to.
Definitely.
What was that? That was muscle memory.
Woo! Yeah.
That was like a reflex for sure.
We outgrew each
So
other.
what you about to do? What you about to do? You about to leave? You leaving?
You about to get into something?
This is
I'm just going out real quick if you want.
You know what I'm saying? But I got to run around the corner. You ever do that one? I got to run around the corner. What?
Oh, that's the biggest shit.
And virtual fist bump. One time I walked around the corner. She had to go, man. I walked right my ass around the corner and came right back upstairs and got back in the
Wow.
Yo, I've had to do that before.
Yo, that is hilarious.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm gonna go saving Castro for last on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have as strong of feelings as Ambush. I don't throw the show away. I do see the value in the show.
Wait, did Ambush answer? Did he throw it away?
No, I wasn't.
I
wasn't throwing. I'm sorry. Let me give some clarity. I'm not throwing it away. I'm just not satisfied with this last season. I'm not.
Well, you don't throw the show away. But I still don't think I feel as strongly about it as Ambush does. So I look at it much the way Afra, like you really succinctly said it. As a whole, and for overarching themes that are applicable to today, that matter, all of that is great, and isn't lost. This, I feel disappointed, and maybe I feel the embarrassment that Ambush feels because I feel like we've been having these calls for years. We've been talking about history and lore and going deep into characters and like doing all of this, and I feel like for what? Like a lot of that was for what? So all of these different prophecies and things like that, and why did we ever theorize? So I feel embarrassed in that way. Like, why did I take you so seriously if you were going to shit the bed at the end? That bothers me to no end that they shit the bed so bad. I want to be more positive about it, but I simply can't. Like, yeah, there were good tie-ups for some of it, and then just complete and total slip knots for the rest of it. Like, you just didn't even fucking try. And I feel like the things they didn't try on, were too important to me to just be like, oh, okay, so I guess I don't care anymore. They're unforgivable. Thank you. God, you've got all my words today. Thank you very much. I'm going to let Afro speak for me from here on out. Double D. All right, the moment we've waited for. Castro, what was your key takeaway, your thoughts and reactions from this episode?
First of all, I'd like to tell all of y'all that I didn't even use the mute button. I literally kept my finger to my mouth. That's how much pent up.
Look at you. Progress.
Like I was 4 years old.
We are so proud of you. You've done a great job.
All right.
And now your box is
start. I'll start with my notes. I'll start with what I wrote, and then I'll get into the whole thing. I love this episode. I feel like the episode was for long-time watchers and followers who are more than familiar with George R. R. Martin's cold, heartless writing that he means to break our hearts. I'm not going to divorce the two. I noticed that within the last 2 seasons, especially with the length of the season, we immediately started thinking Benioff and Weiss, and not George R. R. Martin, because he's slow with it. But we knew beforehand, all of us, being so adept at the show, that he gave them all of the plot points to get to the end. We even remembered that. I remember thinking about that. It just popped in my head like we were talking about that. Like, oh, so George R. Martin told them all. This person gets here, this person gets there, this person gets there. I think they were given an episode number, and then that's where I feel like some of what Am is saying. They rushed things and did very much a TV thing with our great masterpiece of the show. But I still have to do the math. 71 to 3. 71 episodes that were, we loved questionably for whatever reasons, and 3 episodes, the last 2, and then there was like one like early on that we didn't fuck with. Some Sam episode or something. And I think just that math alone shows that this thing, and this is an epic. We're gonna look back at this thing like, wow. Like we watched the Battle of the Bastards as an episode on our show. Mm-hmm. So like to me, this last episode was something that I accepted, warts and all. No, y'all, of course, I'm not going for the okie doke. I did not like the Daenerys turn the way they did it. 2 more episodes would have helped out. But I feel like there's something that's not being told and something we're accepting. So either it is not being told why they had less episodes, or we're just accepting them turning on the TV knob a little bit higher when it came to telling this story and finishing it. But the finale, the end all of who ended up, I want us to just get through it naturally through this episode. That's like a George R. R. Martin thing. I didn't even predict that. When y'all used to say that, I was like, that's ridiculous. That comes out of nowhere. So it's like it's still him at the helm. So yeah, we might not have got the end.
There's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, that's
okay.
actually.
But listen, real quick, I'm gonna pull a Castro. I don't give a fuck who wrote that shit. It was bad. It was bad. And now that you've jumped ahead, I'm fucking jumping ahead. Because my grievance is Bran can't be the Lord of fucking Winterfell because he's too busy living in the past as a third-eyed raven. That's what he said out his fucking mouth. But also, this is what I came here for. You can't be the Lord of Winterfell. You can't be the Lord of Winterfell because you're the three-eyed raven. But you can be the fucking king of what?
Because he's incorruptible. Everybody else is being pulled into.
Wait, Castro.
Cool.
Wait, Castro. No. Don't. If you're going to defend this, I need you to address that directly based on what Bran said. Okay, give me a sec. Based on what Bran said in his reasoning, he said because he's living in the past, he cannot be the Lord of Winterfell. He's still living in the past. Why can he be the king?
Okay, I got
based on that reasoning.
I got something for y'all.
Okay.
So remember when he dipped off when the Night King was coming at him with Tyrion? Mm-hmm. I think remember they were asking him, and I know he's cold and stoic, but he really didn't know what was happening past that moment. Kind of maybe a block or something like that. I think that's when he acquired this thing because when he finally said, "Why did I come all this way for?" And then you start thinking of his arc solely. And you're like, oh, shoot. He did go through a lot and all of this. Yes, we lost him for a whole season 5, but he also was a triumph.
He didn't, to be clear, he didn't say, why did I come here? He said, why do you think I'm here?
Right.
Like, everybody knew you was about to be the fucking king. Oh, yeah, okay.
But he was the last person I would have picked straight up. If you put me in a room in the dark and gave me 20 guesses, I would not have picked him. So, of course, it's mine.
Okay,
but what I'm saying is, fine, cool. It's a twist that you didn't predict and you didn't see coming. But does that make it good? It doesn't make it good. He already told us why he couldn't be at the helm of something.
Right.
And then
but it makes
instead of that, I'll be the helm of everything.
Castro.
Okay.
Castro.
When the
logic.
Let me finish.
Okay.
But it fits in the realm of this saga. The fact that they even pulled a fucking book out at the end. it fits in the realm of this saga. This is how this chapter ends with this weirdo king, Pet Rock, and John, this and that. And to me, I started summing it up as a story. And I was like, okay, let's close the book. And it's still kind of open-ended. We can imagine what happens with certain people as we move on. But no, did they do a perfect job? I don't think so. I agree with y'all on that. But I accept this episode for the awards because there was so much poetry and the misdirection and the acting, and it looked gorgeous. Like, this is one of the most beautiful episodes we had. Let's keep going.
You're following the shiny things. That's great. The writing
and
the logic.
Episode looked like Silent Hill. What the fuck was great about that?
The logic.
Just pouring ashes down. Yeah, that was gorgeous.
If you played video games, Silent Hill would mean a lot more to you than it does just as a movie. I didn't play the video games. I'm just saying.
She watched them.
People like that.
But if y'all did.
But if y'all ever did.
I'm ready for you.
Listen, Castro, bottom line.
You're worried about the wrong thing.
Yeah, bottom line, the brand thing is this is the writing and logic of the show folding in on itself. Period. He gave us a reason why he gave us a reason why he couldn't rule, and then he ends up ruling. There's no sense in that. There's none. The writing,
but
you gotta admit, the writing
is
Tyrion's fucked up.
Nomination. Sorry, it was based on Tyrion's nomination.
Astro, I'm sorry. Based off of Tyrion's nomination, Tyrion was the one who said to Bran, "You're the Lord of Winterfell now, I guess," and he was like, "No, sir, I'm the three-eyed raven. I can't do that."
Based on Tyrion's nomination.
Tyrion and Bran sat down and Tyrion said, like, tell me your story.
Yes.
So I feel like it came out of that. And then he did tie the story part to his whole monologue. Tyrion did.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
A leader needs a great story. A good story is blah, 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 which was one of my favorite quotes from the show, since we're just jumping everywhere. But, yeah. I mean, I feel like, yes, I agree. He did say he cannot rule, but I think that things changed. I don't really have a dirty answer.
You know what? I'm happy that
one
for you.
One question. Because we're positing things in little pockets that we didn't see off screen. Remember, we even talked about what Tyrion and Cersei might have talked about. A couple more episodes. Would that have helped all of this?
You keep saying that. Like, there is no, there's no way to quantify how many more episodes would have made the story different or better. Like, I think the story is the story. And if you would have gotten 2 more episodes, you would have gotten this same ending, but more drawn out.
But I think
you're right, because this was the ending. This was going to be the ending for the show.
Right.
Yeah.
But Okay. Let's keep rolling because I don't want to hard.
So at this point,
you really believe that if they have more episodes, the ending would be different? Like the story would be different?
Like no, not the ending, but the blind spots and maybe some of the plot holes. We would have some
more fleshed out.
They would have filled it in. It would have been,
I'm all for that, but I feel like they had moments and time to give us closure for a bunch
I agree with that.
That they didn't take that opportunity.
Yep.
So I don't know that they were going to ever give it. And that's where my grievance comes from. Like, yeah, it's rushed, and they've tried to put too much into a really shortened season, and we can go on that all day. But the end of it is, they had the outline, they had the end, they knew what they were going towards, and
they were committed.
This was going to be the end, no matter what. So, however many more episodes, sure. But if they weren't going to address certain things, they weren't going to do it if they had the extra time, because they had it.
Okay.
We could have had less belly. We could have had less, stare down.
Yeah.
There could have been, So they could have summed it up with these 6 episodes.
Could have had less of that Johnny Dan love.
Yep.
So, boom. Wait, can I just talk about that real quick? That is what's wrong. Ever since.
Does that fall under your grievances?
And I thought about this today. No, actually, I didn't get to write this down. I just made a mental note because I started thinking about it today. I've been watching so much, y'all, and I think I've been oversaturated with it. But ever since Dany fell in love with Jon, everything's been wrong. Her counsel has been wrong. Her decision making has been wrong. I'm not just saying like some woman just going dough out for a guy, but in her mind, in her history, it was all right to fall in love with him, but everything was thrown off. since she got with him. Everything been thrown off. Of course, she went up north to fight the White Walkers, lost the son. You know what I mean? Like, everything's been off. And you know what I told y'all years ago. I did not like this relationship from the damn get-go. And you want to take something out and put something in worthy? Take out that damn boat scene when they're sleeping with each other and Tyrion's in the shadows. Cut that. We had 4 minutes right there. Put something in there worthy. Every damn thing. When they're walking around in the caves, that's why I asked him, what the hell was them damn caves for? Cut that. Put in something worthy. If they sliced, I'm gonna ask somebody on Reddit. Slice out the John and Danny parts, and I think Game of Thrones becomes flawless. But anyway, I digress.
So Pycelle's bitch ass. Gripes, grievances, issues one had with the episode. I've already given one, so I'm just going to give my second really fast, and we'll move forward. Where the fuck is Nymeria?
I mean...
No, Nymeria went off to do her own thing.
I know, but she was supposed to come back.
Thought
I expected her to come back.
She was needed.
She would come out.
Oh, no.
She would
like that was the closing moment with her and Arya, and Arya was like, that's not you, and that was it.
Yeah, I can live with that. But I still wanted Nymeria back. I needed to see her again. All of the Starks in Winterfell. No, I don't think so.
We couldn't even get water bottles up to set. We couldn't fucking...
You know what?
We couldn't get plots ironed out the way we want, and you want not. We barely got ghosts, girl. Like, are you crazy?
No, we got a lot of ghosts, and that was the fucked up thing. We got more
but
ghosts.
I'm saying we got some bullshit ghosts. We got some bullshit ghosts.
I didn't want any of that either. I don't want bullshit ghosts. That made it even harder for me than I knew it was.
What I'm saying is, if we could barely get that, Nymeria is
we got a consolation. We got a consolation.
Did we?
I want to talk about it.
Did
Drogon looked amazing this season.
What?
Okay,
Stop,
I need. Okay, kill it.
He did. He was a whole.
We talking about grievances and gripes. You talking about how great the dragon is. This is not even like we're talking about different things, man.
No. Consolation that a character that's supposed to be in the show looks good. Are you crazy? No.
Another animal sci-fi.
It's supposed to be there. It's its job to look good. That's what the show's supposed to do. It's not a consolation.
Ghost had to lose an ear for Drogon to look as good as he did.
Right.
So,
Ghost ear was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Ghost Van Ghost.
Man, Ghost Van Gogh out here.
He still like he was fresh out that fucking fight. God damn.
Exactly.
Holyfield and shit. Jumping up and down the ring.
Just a whole mess. I did. I expected Nymeria to come back. You can call me crazy as crack for that, but that's what I've been wanting. I expected it.
I think y'all would have really been mad if Nymeria came back. Y'all would have been like, "Oh, now this is for real, made for TV. Great."
Oh no, because I've been talking about it since that happened.
No, she came back during the battle.
Come back and save her.
Yeah, we're looking for her during the battle.
Nymeria will be there during the battle. Everything will be fine.
Right.
She's gonna bring her back to goals.
How's all this shit happening? How's all this shit happening in the north and Nymeria don't come back? Like that's what we were looking for.
She had Roman in the north.
Nymeria had a whole fucking family, y'all. Remember?
Yes, and that's why I said she gonna bring her fucking pack back.
But can I say?
No, Nymeria is fucking booed up, living that free wild life.
No, she ain't booed up.
She ain't booed up. She's part of a pack. She got obligations to her pack. Okay.
Hell no. Not even a little bit am I doing this with you.
A pack. That's a wild pack. That's the VHS pack.
This some bullshit.
We're long-time fans. Don't we deserve some fan service? What's wrong with that?
Right, I feel like the fan
according to Am, we're getting nothing but fan service.
Yes, we're getting fan
service.
According
to Am, we're getting nothing but fan service.
Am, what is acceptable fan service and what do you feel is embarrassing?
Am is saying the wrong fans are getting the service.
Precisely. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Give me Nymeria, nigga. I deserve it. That's what he's.
Oh my God, y'all are crazy.
You gonna turn Nymeria into domesticated John, Av?
Yo.
You put a whole apron on Nymeria.
I'm not gonna do none of this now. She talking about she got obligations. She a whole family. And she got a man. Get the fuck out of here.
She got a man. She gotta give him the big piece of chicken. What are you talking about?
Nymeria was like, the last time I was hanging out with them fucking humans, them niggas start stabbing each other, try to blame me. Like, fuck that. I got kids.
I got kids. Okay. Good night.
Wait, what was Nigeria's coat?
I'm dropping the
What color
call.
was her coat? What color was her
It
coat?
was like brown. It was like
Gray?
brown and white.
Brown and white? Yeah,
Yeah.
she knows about Yakubians when she sees them. And she worked the other way. That's what she's at.
You said
Safely
fuck
no.
it.
Safely
Y'all,
no. Waiting for Grave.
Were you eating
Excuse me.
for the fam?
Excuse me. Cargo Nudo. Okay?
Oh,
You better say
talk
his
to
name.
him.
Oh, he'll slap
Put
you
some
with a knife.
respect on it.
You better say his name.
Okay.
And I ain't gonna tell you no more.
Okay, Ambush. Grapes, grievances, issues one had with the episode. You have a limit of 2.
Okay. Well, one of them was already
Thank you for that,
discussed.
Morris.
Oh, yeah, I need the limits. Okay. One of them was already discussed, which was Bran, so I'm not going to revisit that. My other issue was definitely the way that Grey Worm handled John. Like, you and John are not on good terms at all. Hell, there's no reason. There's absolutely no reason John should have been alive. None. He killed Daenerys.
Oh, I just thought that static was there.
He killed Daenerys, bruh. Like, how did he become a prisoner?
Killed her dead.
How did he become a prisoner?
I got to answer in a couple more sections.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I don't
understand
I
that a lot
agree.
of your understand that a lot of your answers are based in fan fiction. Just understand that they don't really come from the episodes. They're based in fan fiction. So, okay.
Oh no, they
No. They're based in fan fiction. They
It's
are.
the story you wrote after you watched it.
Exactly.
Mrs. Jones. This man on this call who makes up entire civilizations
For Jess.
and top codes for white walkers
For Jess.
wants to tell me about basing it just on the fan fiction at hand. That's what this man wants to do tonight?
For Jess, sure. But you actually use these points to argue and debate your theories. Total fan fiction.
Oh, Afra, hold on, y'all. Afra got kicked off. She was just trying to call me.
No,
back.
I'm right here. What are you talking about?
Yo, yeah,
Okay.
You just called. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
This is what it feels like when you get
no,
caught
no.
on live.
They be calling you.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, I was I had your wrong number, and I called that number looking for you, and somebody was calling me back. That's what I thought. So, okay, that clears it up. Hey, Cash. What's up,
Yeah, he was playing with my phone. Okay.
That's
I was
my
like,
son
why
calling.
do
You
think
better
I'm
pick
right
up.
here. What are you talking about?
She was
I got
like,
kicked off.
no, that was funny as hell. She's like, no, I'm right here.
It was like Castro got caught in a lie that was a really weird lie to tell. Like, hey guys, I gotta go.
My mom outside. I gotta go.
I gotta go. All right, I gotta talk to you later.
Yeah, I gotta go turn on this light. I gotta go turn on this light.
Okay, back to it.
Can I go next?
Well, was Ambush done?
Oh yeah, I'm
Were
done.
you finished?
Yeah, I'm done. That shit didn't make
Okay.
sense to me.
Afro, gripes and grievances.
Danny's death. Like, that was some bullshit. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I have multiple feelings about it. Number one, the moment where, first of all, her and John even having that whole moment, it's like, y'all still go together? Like, how is this even working? You know? Like, y'all have had so many weird, tense moments, and y'all still about to kiss right now? And then, like, when that was happening, and he was like, you'll always be my queen, and I was like, oh, this is a soap opera right now. Like, this is...
Completely.
Some of those moments were like, is this the acting that's fucking with me? Or is it the writing? Like, is it the directing? Like, I couldn't put my finger on what I actually didn't like. Right. So that was a part of it. And then for her to die like that, it was just kind of corny to me. It was really corny to me. The only thing that I would say brought that moment back for me was the way that I would say her body was handled, or the fact that Drogon was like reacted like immediately. Like, I thought all of that was beautiful. Like, my mom, I can sense that something's off with my mom. She's not there. Then he fucking burned down the Iron Throne, which was great.
Yeah.
And picked her body up and flew off. Like, that was all amazing.
Yeah.
But everything that happened before that sequence in that shot was like, what the fuck? And I just, like, you can't convince me that John, who we've been with all this time, who's supposed to be this super, like, ethical person and, like, you know, all these things, I don't know, it's just like, you just want to, like, stab the woman that you supposedly, like, kind of go with in love, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere after you just had to, like,
No,
Tyrion of all people just fucking hyped you up. Like, this just wasn't really believable for me.
she burnt the city down, Al.
But he still said that's
I
my
get
crown.
that.
He still was loyal after that.
Can I interject?
I know,
agree.
but I'm saying, I'm just 1 second, Castro. I'm just saying that for me that's the ethical thing. Like, he's like, shit, you burnt the whole city down. You don't give a fuck. You don't care at all. So yeah, he was so loyal to her after, and then he went to talk to her. Like, bro, what did you do there? And she's like, yeah, I had to do that. That's that.
I mean,
Like, I think those things are intertwined, I guess is all I'm saying. Like, that's a part of his ethical, moral dilemma.
So I don't think that him doing that was, like, wrong. I guess what I'm saying is based on John's personality that they've given us this far, I feel like John would have been like, I'm going back to Winterfell. Like, fuck her. Like, I don't fuck with her. I don't feel like he would have stabbed her.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's not his personality to me. So to
He's
give me
never
that,
convicted.
like, Tyrion, I would take that from Tyrion. That would kind of make sense to me. Tyrion fucking shot his dad with a crossbow, strangled Shay to death. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
this is another obligation.
John has never been like that extreme in his emotions and in his, like, oh, I have to do what's right. John's kind of like, this doesn't feel right. I think I'm gonna go to Winterfell. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he would have just rolled out and, like, left with Arya.
He's Mr. Honor. He's Mr. Honor over everything.
This is another obligation.
Right.
This is another obligation that he doesn't want, but he had to take. Tyrion pulled a sister card on him. And Dany gave no qualms that she was finished. She was still ready to war. This is what I don't want to be lost in terms of the forest for the trees. Emilia Clarke did a great job with what she was handing. Did you see the look on her face? That's why that scene was uncomfortable for you, Ash. She was glossed over. Her eyes were wide with power. She looked...
Yeah, I mean, she had the crazy eyes, that's for sure.
She had the crazy eyes. And so John talking to her was just more to let her guard down, just as symbolic as when he got there. The whole thing of John being a Targaryen was to allow him access into the throne room when she's in there, because Drogon would have not let anybody else in there except another Targaryen. So it was like one of those, those little fake things that they intertwined that didn't do that well executed. So when he gets in there, I remember sitting there perplexed, just like you. I was like, what is going on? I said out loud, I said, what the hell am I watching? I said that at that point. I was like, what am I watching? Because the way John was talking and believing her, and then when he went into kiss her, I did not think he was going to kill her. Another red herring. The same way that I didn't think Daenerys was going to burn up the city, I didn't think John was going to go through it. So when he did it, I stood there. Another moment, I was stuck.
What was you going to say, Morris?
I didn't think that John was good. I didn't necessarily think John was there to kill her in that moment. But I wasn't surprised that he did. And I'm with you on most of the things you just said, Af, like how that's not really his character. But part of it is, because part of it is him doing the shit that no one wants to do, like going out and looking for White Walkers and being at the wall. And, like some of that is just the shit that nobody wants to do, so I have to do it kind of thing. Like, and no one was going to get close. I mean, Arya maybe, but no one was going to get close to her. Like Castro was just saying, in the throne room, all that shit. Like, I don't know. It didn't strike me as weird that he was the one to do it because of his character. I felt like that is made the most sense in most of this episode. Like, and I also just didn't think that they were at all in anywhere still going together. You know what I mean? Like, it just was more like the fuck are y'all doing? And I get it, let your guard or get her guard down, all of that. But like, he looked like it grosses him out when they kiss because that's his auntie. Like, if you can,
yeah,
he doesn't
I agree.
look,
that's why I'm like, yo, why are y'all still doing this? Because
yeah, like
she had to let her guard down. She had the googly eyes. She was talking about when they were children when she couldn't count to 20 and he was a bastard. Like, she was gone. And I like I said, I'm not on board on how they made her heel turn, but she played the fuck out of that shit. And I was scared to death in that room. She looked crazy. Like, way she would like not blink and then justify what she was doing. Oh, that was Cersei. You know, that was
Right.
Cersei. We can't be. What she said. We can't be held down by little mercy. Like I can't let Tyrion go. And then you know when she named all the places she was about to go burn. Ooh, this is her most successful method. All the other times that people have been pulling her back and it not going full bore, she went full bore with her dragon and she won, quote unquote. So now that's status quo. She gonna head up to Winterfell, burn them out. You know, Fierce ain't playing. We gonna get to that, and you know, and keep right on rolling. Fly back over the Essos, burn them out.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Afro, do you have another one?
No, that's it for me. I mean, there are more, but that's my biggest grievance.
That's good for now. Okay. Pycelle's bitch ass, Castro. What you got?
The ruling council. What the fuck was that?
What do you mean?
Like, look,
clown shoes.
Like, all right, so the comedy in it was golden. All right, and I did write in my notes. Though I will keep my subscription to HBO alive and paid if I can watch the Edmure Tully Me Banana variety show called I Have No Clue. Like, I watched that all day. You know, with Davos, you know, coming in with his rim shot. I don't think I have the vote, but all right, you know, that part was good. And the conversational part, that was a little fan service. But like, there was two people I didn't even know who the hell they were. I love seeing the glow up of fucking Lord Aaron. But that thing,
yeah, me too.
Comedy, right? But that was comedy in the basket. It was hard for me to take it seriously until Tyrion started speaking. So the scene flipped, but at first it was like, what is this? But it finally gave Tyrion a fucking chance to say something that made some goddamn sense.
For once this season.
Yeah, but that was my grievance. Was the ruling council just looked silly? They were in that same dragon pit. You know.
Wow, that's interesting. I feel like almost the complete opposite of it. Like, I appreciated the ruling council.
I did too.
Appreciated the fact that there were some characters I was wondering if I was ever going to see again. And when I talked about the evolution of people's like story arc and all of that, like seeing some of those folks sitting in the ruling council was like, oh, dope, you know. And what was the other thing you said?
That was it.
That was it. It was the comedy of it. You know,
oh, okay, yeah.
And you know, the scene changed when Tyrion came in for me. And, you know, but yeah.
I mean, it made the most sense to me of like, how do they get out of this, you know, new little plot that they've built, you know, with Tyrion, John, and Dany. Like, where do they go from there? And it does make sense to have this like ruling council come together and say like there's no more throne and like we're gonna do shit different now. So I like that.
Yeah, like no, I wasn't saying that the ruling council was unnecessary. I was just saying the way the scene was and how comedic it was at first.
Okay, so Robert Baratheon's hot pie. He was just doing the most this episode. Who had the most to do and tried to do it all.
So, who was doing the most? For me, it was Grey Worm. I felt like Grey Worm really needed to chill. But I understand. Grey Worm's dead inside, and, you know, like, he's lost, at this point, the two most important people to him. But even before he lost Dany, he was like, yeah, we killing every fucking body, so get down or lay down. So... That was a lot. And then when when they got to like the council meeting in the Dragon Pit, it was like, Grey Worm, I get it, but like, do you really think you have some pull right now? First of all, you're the man of color. No one fucking cares. I mean, what's Theon's sister? She cared about. She was like, I pledged to Dany, but blah blah.
Yeah, but Yara ain't care about his plight. She just cared about Dany. She didn't get
exactly.
Oh, fake ass ally.
Exactly.
and look, lost her independence and didn't have nothing to say about it when Sansa took hers.
Boys.
Yeah.
You're not that wet. You gotta get wet.
I mean, she had already given up her independence. She was like, I'm pledging to Dany, and she's fucking happy that Euron's dead, so she's good.
Hello.
But remember, her deal with Danny was for the Iron Islands to be their own sovereign state.
No, I remember that too. But like,
yeah,
nah.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she forgot.
I know.
Castro.
And the most, oh, that's cute. The Angel of Death has lines. Grey Worm, excuse me, Torgo Nudo was doing the most. I liked it though, warts and all. And you know, he had a tragic end. His arc was really sad. You know what I'm saying? But the Yakubians made it no better. But he was just like giving Jon the death stares and yelling at Tyrion, and like this is the most I've seen him. And I think he was lost the whole episode up until he decided, let's go to Narth. Right at the end, I think that's when he found some direction. Let's go to Narth. And he took all the Unsullied with him. But look where he came from. You know, he was with a bunch of kids where their nipples were getting chopped off, and they didn't talk, and they didn't have names. And he came all the way across the Nile Sea with Daenerys, her right hand, up until the end. So, like, you know, I love his arc, but he was doing a lot this episode. To me, he was staring and slicing people's necks, you know.
I think you nailed it, though. I think he was lost. I think these are people that have been slaves, and not just slaves, but soldiers, right? They're not making the kind of decisions like how to run the place that they live. You know what I mean? So even in the moment of him being like, when Davos was like, here's this land, nobody lives there now, go live on it. It was still like, and then what? Like, they're over here, they were ready for another war, because what else have they been doing? You know what I mean? Like, they've been trained to go.
Remember when they first let their guard down in Marine, that's when the Sons of the Harpy started killing all of them. Remember that? So at that point, they were trying to civilize themselves, and, you know, Danny was always saying they're free men and stuff, and then they got all stabbed up. So maybe they, you know, and then the Army of the Dead and so on and so forth. So that
speaks to my point, I think, is that they just haven't had a chance to live. So for it to just be like, hey, here's some land, go live, it's like, what?
At the end, when they sail off and the guy says everybody's on board, that's the first time I seen two of them with their helmet on. One was Grey Worm and the other guy was the guy. And talking.
Two at a time. Talking to each other. Yes.
Talking to each other, yes.
Busting it up.
It's the little things.
It's the little things.
And also, people of color, excuse me, because sometimes I don't like that term all the way. Black folks making it to the end and sailing off. Y'all can have these Yakubians if y'all want. Y'all took my woman. And I'm going on to other things. To the beach. I'm going back to the beach.
Yeah. Right? I need some warmth. I need some sun. Get myself back there. Ambush.
Doing the most, Uncle Edmure Tully. Sit your ass down, bruh.
My man stood up and said, I'm a seasoned veteran.
At first, I thought he was going to nominate somebody.
Right. I did for a split second. I did think he was going to say, coming, you know, from his experience, he's the best. He thinks he's a great person to suggest someone else. But, bro, you campaigning for yourself, right? If you don't, stop it.
My man said I won the Purple Heart.
Right. No one's taking you seriously.
Been on the board of 3 nonprofits.
Where is the blackfish to go upside his damn head?
Right.
They should always, the ghost of blackfish should have came up and rolled right up against his head.
Cracked him across his forehead.
And he would know, everybody would know it's him too. He would grab him back and say, Uncle, everybody know. Roll him out. Slap to the back of the head. Edmure Tully. But that was some fan service. I like to see him. That was funny as shit.
Yeah, that was funny. Sit your dumb ass down, bro.
Yeah. That was one of mine. Do you have it? I'm sorry. Do you have another one?
No, that was it. That was top of the pile for me.
Mine. So that was one of mine, but another one of mine is Danny. I feel like that whole Nazi speech she gave at the fucking beginning like they legit made her look like Hitler, fam. Like that was like, what the fuck? So
But wait,
what it ended? Oh, go ahead.
they didn't have time to hang the flags pop. You see how they just draped that one thing over the ruins?
Just
Like,
threw it over. They
Right.
just threw it
just
over.
threw it over there.
They had
They
nothing to
couldn't
hang
get
it
an
on.
Unsullied to straighten it out or
there was-
nothing. It was just like, put that shit over there.
But there was literally nothing to hang it on.
Yeah.
She burnt everything the fuck down.
No.
Yes,
What were they going to hang it
you
on?
know,
Like,
everybody here is right. So to have that crazy like dictator ass speech, and mind you, she's been on this whole no tyrants, no fascists. She's leading Antifa to the promised land.
Right.
Antifa.
Right.
And then she fucking gets there and she's a full blown fascist. Like she's a full blown tyrant. So it's like
Absolute power, corrupt.
listening
absolute.
to fucking Bernie Sanders tell us he's gonna fix everything for us, and then he gets up on stage and is like, "Oh no!" You know, like she just screamed, "Let's keep going to war forever!" And they were
Right.
like, "Yeah."
Just keep
So
killing
like
babies.
that is doing the most for me. And then in the throne room with John, when she's like just very coldly, she had a few of my favorite quotes from the throne room. But that cold, calculated shit, I loved the acting. That was great. It was just, oh yeah, fuck, you gotta die, fam. Like you're absolutely awful, and you cannot be around anymore. Because there's no way she's not gonna relinquish power. You know, there's gonna be no hand holding at the end
You
of it.
think there
Like,
was any coming back? You think there was any coming back for her?
it didn't feel like it. That moment of
Mhm.
her standing up there, it didn't feel like it. She's on a full flex to the people that just flex with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're only talking to the same men you've been with.
Right.
Everybody else.
And there was no Northmen. There was no
Yeah.
Northmen in that celebration.
You
Y'all know
killed,
that, right? There
you
was none of-
killed everyone
no.
else.
You killed
Killed
everyone
everybody.
else.
Well, I mean, like,
It's the right
people that
wing
came with John and them,
web
they
loop.
weren't there
You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
They weren't, but
Yeah.
they were there confused and lost. You know what I mean? But like,
Yes.
but
Yes.
but there weren't. You know, as soon as wasn't nobody out there with them, but the people that did it with them in the first place. So she created the loop. She created that little bubble for
Yep.
herself that she can do we're doing this for the right reasons, but really, what's your reason? Like, your reason is literally just to rule. There's no plan in action other than more of this.
Right.
Here's the sales that we always been battling with since
Right.
maybe 4 or 5 seasons ago. We always used to ask, is Dani a good ruler or is she just a good conqueror? Does she know how to conquer, but she can't hold? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it was funny. She was celebrating with them. I was going to piggyback on your point. Celebrating with the people that she came here with, but that she also learned how to do what she's doing now. She learned from them. There was no other real teachers. Tyrion
Absolutely.
came late.
Yeah,
Harrison
absolutely.
suddenly died. Jorah was just faithful puppy dog. Like, she learned from the Khalasar. She learned
Yeah.
from what the Unsullied were able to do, and that's all they knew how to do was conquer. So when
Right.
she made that speech, she was about to go on a world tour. And she had
I
to go.
agree. And that, to me, was doing the fucking most. Doing it all
There they go.
for the gram. All right. Hagar's slang editorial. To the best of your memory, Castro, quote 2 to 3 of the best lines of the episode in your opinion.
All right, the first one I'm probably misquoting, but it's funny because I wrote notes. And it's when Bran says, "Why do you think I came all this way?" And it really made me like,
This is where we came.
I'm watching
from.
immediately I'm watching the episode, and immediately I go, I start thinking of Bran climbing the tower. And then I start from there. And I'm like, oh, word. Like, I mean, I've been so disappointed with the Pet Rock for so long. And so it's just like, just to see him be aware or have, seem like a moment of clarity, if you will. I read something that it was a conscious decision between Benioff, Weiss, and him to make him, to change his affect. Because if you remember, when he first downloaded all the stuff from the Three-Eyed Raven, he was not emotionless. In that episode, when he was even surfing the history, he had emotion. They made a conscious decision between seasons to make him, oh, I'm just a Three-Eyed Raven now. Oh, Mira, I don't care that your brother died, which was weird. Turned a lot of shit weird, right? But all's well that ends well in that one. And my other quote was the double quote when John said, "Duty is the death of love," and then Tyrion said love is the death of duty. It could be reversed. Forgive me for that. And the funny thing about that is, immediately it made me think of Master Aemon Targaryen. And that immediately made me think of what Master Aemon said: a Targaryen alone in the world is a dangerous thing. And Aegon John is now that one Targaryen. So, you know, a story that just keeps going. But those are the quotes, and it took me on the circuitous route to think about all of this different shit in the show. And also that scene with Jon and Tyrion was great.
That love is the death of duty, I felt like was a pretty good explanation for Tyrion explaining his actions. You know, like there were hints throughout. You know, Dany kept saying, you know, are you going to betray me? And, you know, are you really doing shit in service of your family? And ultimately, that's what he did. His love for his family was the death of his duty towards Dany. So, yeah.
I told you, he was always playing both sides. From the Battle of the Gold Road, they changed it from Lutrin to Gold Road, thank God, till now.
My favorite quote was with I don't even remember his name, but he was like, when they were joking about democracy, and they were all like, let the people decide. Let me ask my horse.
That was the dude from the Vale, who coincidentally, if y'all notice, has potbelly armor. His armor had enough space for his belly. I always remember that about him.
Yeah. So let me ask my horse was my favorite quote of the whole episode. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought that was a great commentary on democracy in general and, like, you know, fake democracy. And yeah, I thought that was great. And I really thought they were gonna go there with democracy, like, yeah, let's let the people decide. Let's open up voting booths. Let's vote blah, blah. And I was like, niggas.
I was like, so this is how the system gets broken. The dragon.
I totally was going for it. He had to pause. They had to pause and everything. Everybody looked around.
Everybody looked around. I thought they were going to go there, and I'm so glad they didn't, because I really feel like that would have been super corny. Yeah. Even though I believe, mostly believe in democracy, but I was
you
like,
just haven't lived it, Afro. You just haven't lived in a real democracy.
Right.
Y'all better be careful before they cut our call again.
Well, so I was like, are they going to like head into an electoral college? Are they going to
Are you guys going to do it right or wrong?
Right.
No, I thought Drogon was just going to fly above and drop little leaflets of paper and be like a blind ballot.
A blind ballot.
Do you know how long it would take them to see? Let's not take in this new light speed travel. Do you know how long an election would take in West Coast if we went like season 2 time? That's a whole season of the long winter, the long election. If in 4 years.
I mean, they would have had to rebuild the city on top. Like, it's just too much.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot.
Ambush.
Only quote I got was, "Uncle, please have a seat. Uncle, please, just." the resting, such a calm face Sansa had. Uncle. It's almost like she didn't have to say anything else after she said uncle. She really didn't. She said, uncle.
How much?
Just please have a seat.
How much rope do you think she was giving him? Like, did she want to say that immediately when he opened his mouth?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, she definitely did. Because what do you have to offer right now?
Exactly.
Sir? Please be quiet.
Exactly.
That, I mean, just yes, from the jump. I mean, you have zero business standing, sir. Sit down. I'm sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time we checked in with Edmure telling me banana, was when he was in the down in he was down in the cells down with Walder Frey, right? They captured him after the Red Wedding.
No. We saw him later on. They pulled him out. Jamie pulled him out to use him as a pawn.
Yeah, and to use him
against Blackfish. Yeah.
That's River Run and shit. Yeah. And Blackfish didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, Blackfish like who? Him? Boy, please.
Edmure telling me banana. They like coming, me won't go home. He said that.
Well, I'll be quick. I can't remember the two from Danny. One is very long and one is right before it. And I wrote them down and left them on my desk. So I'm going to say my others. First, when Arya says, I know a killer when I see one. Tips hat. Giving John all the free game. Just here, have it. Do with it what you will.
Right.
That bitch gonna kill you, though. And my other favorite quote was the noise that was made when Tully turned around after being told to sit the fuck down and he ran into his chair. Best quote of it.
Yeah, his
sword.
Yeah. It's a pole.
Yeah. It was like, oh, there's a chair there. Okay, I'll sit down now.
As if it can't get any worse.
Right.
Tully needs daylight come. Take your ass back to fucking River Run.
Man, oh man.
God.
All right, you guys. What we wouldn't give to get our dire wolves back. The emotional high or low point of the episode. What puts you most in your feels? I'll go first since you guys have been going.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Nymeria?
There's a girl.
Wow.
Seriously though, the emotional sad or low point, whatever, is that the show is ending and it ended the way it did. I wasn't excited with it. I didn't love the way it ended, but here we have it. All of the emotional points that were happening in the show that were supposed to make us cry and make us feel gut wrenched and oh my God, they're taking all our characters away. Like that never happened for me. I was so upset with the way that Cersei and Jaime died that I don't give a fuck about you digging through the rubble and crying looking for them. That just pissed me off. Fuck his hand, fuck his whole body, fuck Jaime, fuck Cersei. It just pissed me off. I didn't have any emotional feels for Tyrion in that moment at all. I did love that Drogon picked up Dany by a fingernail and swooped her away. That was great.
That's very interesting because I agree with you completely. You're not really caring about the deaths. And I'm right along with you. I don't know which death set it off, but something happened where I stopped caring about the characters dying. And I'm not sure if it was Cersei's death or something that happened in the episode before that. But at this point, like, you know, when Cersei and Jaime died, big whoop. When Daenerys died, it was like, okay, all right. Like nothing, and I don't know if it was the way they delivered the deaths.
So after the Battle of Winterfell?
Quite possibly.
After
like
the Battle of Winterfell?
Yeah,
deaths?
And like
I guess.
Yeah, like the way everyone was sent off, and like I didn't care about Jon going back to the Wall, you know, like if whatever they had decided, whether, you know, Grey Worm had decided to kill Jon or kill Tyrion, it like none of it really mattered. Like I just feel like I wasn't going to get anything great out of any of it. Go ahead.
Ooh. The fireplace scene set us up to prepare for a lot of random deaths, like the way the Night's Watch homeboy died when he saved Sam. And I think the fact that didn't really pay off started pulling away from us the realism of like real characters, because it made the death seem out of order, if you will. So when they would gather around, remember we said about half that room gonna die, right? And then the fact that we see all the main characters have so much plot armor in the battle, and then coincidentally the bigger battle being the sack of King's Landing, I think that's what pulled the rug out from under us. Like we thought maybe the Hound was gonna die there. You know what I mean? Like, you know. So I think I would contend, I don't know if that's true or not, but I would think the fireplace scene is probably the moment when it stopped being meaningful.
I mean, it's possible. It is possible. I feel like the deaths that we got at Winterfell were meaningful deaths. Jorah was a meaningful death. I didn't want to see Little Bear go, but that was a meaningful death. But yeah, like the way Jaime and Cersei went out, it was just like, if that's how you're killing Jaime and Cersei, the rest of this shit, y'all, I really feel like y'all just rolling the dice, and it played out that way for me. It really did. Clegane Bowl, that was a payoff, sure. It was also a beautiful scene.
That. I like
you know
that.
what I'm saying?
I watched it the other day.
But to have Arya still here in King's Landing, and she isn't the one who killed Dany, like what is she doing in this episode? Like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I know. It didn't work for me. As far as emotional, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, my emotional high, was definitely, like you guys mentioned earlier, Drogon flying off. That was amazing. Like, that was just like all of that whole scene right there with him reacting to her dying, him coming up like, I want to fuck you up, John. Use a Targaryen. I'm going to chill. I'm going to burn this goddamn throne down, and I'm taking my mom and I'm rolling. Like, that shit was amazing. Also, the scene when they flew over and he landed and she came walking out and his wings opened up right behind her to make it look like it was her wings.
Yeah, that was my emotional high.
My God.
The Jizza, the RZA. She was the RZA in that scene.
Why you call him the RZA? Like, I saw that in your notes and I didn't make the connection.
Go watch the Triumph video when we finish.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just, bruh. Spend all the money on the effects for that, because that was amazing. That was dope.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But hey y'all, did she? Is like Drogon like the kid that's not modest? Did she change on his back? Like, she changed clothes? Like, when did she do that? Like, when did she change clothes?
When did we see her? When did we see her before that scene?
So when she's burning down,
wasn't that the first time we saw her in the episode?
Am I wrong to think that she? Am I mistaken to think she changed clothes? I thought she changed clothes when she burnt King's Landing to what she was wearing when she was giving the speech. I thought that was something different.
No, the clothes. There was a change of clothes, but King's Landing getting burned down was like, there's a whole lot of time that passed between then and that scene in this episode.
How much time?
Okay, enough time.
Like an hour?
Give me a second.
It felt like
enough time for the majority of the fires to have burned down, where it's nothing but ashes. Enough time for all the Northmen to be gone. Enough time for all the Unsullied to be organized at the bottom of the stairs. Like, dude, it wasn't like 20 minutes. Enough time has passed
for
her to change her clothes.
Just to use something. So, like, let's say, and forgive me, 9/11 happens, but then later on in the day, there's still all of that soot and stuff. So something like that type of time period,
yeah,
same
like
day?
How long does it take her to change her
same
clothes?
Day, right?
Yeah, clean herself up and present herself to her.
Okay.
So she's not going to walk out there with ashes on her face still.
I'm not trying to get into costume changes, because then we got to think about where her suitcase is, where the clothes are, all of that shit. Like, it's
vanity mirror.
Right. Okay. They hung the banner. They hung that high ass banner. That didn't happen in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they did some.
Yes, things happen. Yeah.
Drogon did
Drogon was like, is it straight? Is it crooked?
Maneuvers.
Is it crooked?
Doing maneuvers in the courtyard. like the big black bands, like the big HBCU band. They were doing.
Drogon went, hung the banner, then he went and took a nap, and it was doing all the Silent Hill ash snow, and then he was covered, and then all of a sudden he got up and shook it off like we were in Narnia, and it was like, oh, you're not a bush, you're a whole dragon. Yeah, all of that happened.
I love that part. But wait, it's snow, y'all. It's snow and ash. It started snowing a little bit. Not too much, but there was actually snow.
There was snow, and then that was in Danny's vision from before, which I appreciate it.
Yeah. And Bran's vision of Drogon flying over King's Landing. Remember, we always thought that could have been a vision from the past, and it was actually the future.
I thought it was always a vision from the future. I always thought that. And so a moment ago, Castro, well, not a moment, in the beginning of this call, we said something about him not being able to see past where he was in that moment. And I'm like, no, he saw that.
Boom.
No, I mean, he couldn't see past the, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like, you can't give him that you can see the future, but just not today.
Not today, niggas.
Right. Right.
Anyway, okay, back on board. Castro.
Okay, if I can have the floor for just a second. This will be a little poetic.
Okay.
Did I hear Afro like grunt, exhale, or mentally?
I'm pretty
you
sure
heard it in my mind because I was muted. You heard it? Okay, in my mind.
Yes.
So that was
I was
me.
like, of course you have the fucking floor. She just called your name. So, yes, you can have the floor.
Now I'm ready. All right. When John gutted Danny, I stopped breathing. When Drogon burned down the Iron Throne, I stopped breathing. When John hugged his Stark fam at the docks, I stopped breathing. When Bran finished updating Jamie's graduation yearbook with a kick to keep in touch, KIT, I stopped breathing.
Oh my God! I have so many comments about that moment. Go ahead.
When I saw Sansa's fucking fit, I was screaming, "Yes, wolf it, bitch, wolf it,
wolf it." Are you saying wolf it?
Yes.
Wolf it, bitch, wolf it. Okay,
wolf it, bitch.
Oh my God,
wolf it, bitch. Wolf it.
And there's a video online that I want y'all to
female.
It comes back.
Sorry, it wasn't that funny.
No, we're good. There's a video that shows that Cersei and Sansa were exactly the same. They started wearing the same fits, wearing their hair the same at different levels, and like their arcs are very, very similar. I'll tag y'all all in it. It's very interesting.
I agree with that, and I feel somewhat sorry to take this tangent, but not sorry. I feel vindicated isn't the word, but it's something along those lines of like, I made it. Because I said Sansa would be queen, and like I imagined her on the Iron Throne, but she was like queen in her own regard, which is really dope. And to take it a step further, if we think of the realm, the Starks run the realm. Fucking Bran and Sansa, like they got it, and I think that's just like a great closure to the way it started. Because nobody got fucked over more than the fucking Stark family in this whole show. So,
if you'll remember, Castro told us at the beginning of this season that we're all crazy to still root for a Stark because they're all gonna die.
Yeah, I did think so.
Yeah, I didn't remember that, but I'm so happy that you brought
it up. But as an aside, I shall complete my piece.
Oh, apologies.
It's no problem. So I'll start where I finish.
Oh,
Ghost! Exclamation point. I held my breath. When John walked back through the very gate, at Castle Black that we started the show with, episode 1, back with his free folk family, turning all Kaepernick and doing away with life on the knee, I started breathing again and began to cry. My watch had ended. See?
Are you reading?
Yes.
Scene.
At some point, Castle started taking his notes like so seriously that they became like a monologue and a script.
Oh my God.
And you would just be like something he referred to, and then he was like, "No, I need to say it exactly like this."
The way that I felt when I wrote it.
I practiced.
My man did start by telling us it would be a little poetic, so we should have known.
As I continually gorged on my last pack of Game of Thrones Oreos, I thought it was fitting. I have about 4 left. I only bought like 3 packs this season though. How many packs do y'all buy? Just the one?
How many what?
Packs of Game of Thrones Oreos.
Cookies. How many?
Oh yeah, I only got one. Them shits is gone.
Okay. This is my third. This is my third.
Okay. Did we get everybody, or do we have?
Oh,
Candace, did you go, or did you just respond to mine?
No, I just talked to I went real Castro that round.
I'm not an adjective. I am not an adjective. I'm a man.
You're a verb, a noun, an adjective. You are
for many seasons.
I'm a male. I'm a male.
Male John.
Cash just wakes up right now. Right
Wow.
now.
Terrible.
Well,
There's
at
a
least
lot
I'm
more
sorry, I
happening.
didn't know.
yet, so fuck your life. All right.
Yeah, rude.
Who says that?
He's in the bed, but he's screaming. So there you go.
Lovely. That sounds fun.
Yeah, a high point was also Drogon behind Danny. I'm with you on that, Am. And then I don't know if this is a high point, low point. It was just kind of funny to me that at the end of the episode, or towards the end, when Jon is, finally reunited with Arya and Sansa, and they're all talking about like what they're gonna do next, and Arya's like, "Yeah, I'm not going back to Winterfell," and I just felt like if I was Sansa, I would be like, "Bitch, we've been together the last 3 months, and you ain't never mentioned no shit about sailing."
Leaving forever.
Leaving forever, right? I gotta wait till you here with Jon for you to fucking tell me that you like out. Like, what the fuck is that?
You going to Easter roast?
But didn't they just start being sisters? When she came back, didn't they just start being sisters?
Yeah, but I mean, how long has Jon been locked up? That was like, what, 2 months, 3? He had a whole beard and shit.
No, it was 2 weeks. I thought it was 2 weeks, yo. I didn't think it was a month.
Where did you come up with that number?
Thank you.
I think maybe I read that.
Fan fiction.
I read it.
Fan fiction.
No, I read it 2 weeks. I think Tyrion said it.
You think Tyrion did not say that?
Castro, how long do you think it took to clean up all that ash?
I don't know. Come on. Look how quick they cleaned up Winterfell and put up
wait. But to be fair, to be fair, the beginning of the episode is Tyrion walking through, and there's still people burning. Like, they're smoldering.
Yes.
And they're like, like there's still shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
okay. All right, I'll go with the month. Can I meet in the middle and say a month? I just thought it was 2 weeks. But they did grow a lot of beard. A month.
So do we think that Arya stayed in King's Landing all that time and Sansa came? So maybe Sansa had just arrived, so that's why nobody knew where she was going. But I was just like, what the fuck? You just telling your siblings that are standing next to you who have been free all this time? You just telling them now?
Yeah, I definitely.
No, what if Jon was the only one that didn't know? What if she told them the other ones before? What if Jon was the one she was telling?
He did, because Sansa turned to her and was like, "Where the fuck you going?"
Right.
Oh shit! Yeah, she did.
What you mean you out?
I definitely think Arya was there the whole time because her ship was built. Her ship was ready with, with Stark sails and everything. She's not doing that back at Winterfell. They have nowhere to do that.
Right.
So out of Landsport. Yeah. Out of Landsport too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, excuse me.
So that was a funny moment for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was that same walk that Jon did when he walked down to the docks. That was the same walk he did. And not because he hadn't been in King's Landing. I think when he was on his way when he first met the dragons and Danny and them. I feel like that was the same walk. I got to look it up.
What do you mean by the same walk? Like the route or the way?
Yeah, like walking down those 3 like ramps and stopping and looking out. It's the same thing I think he did when he first met Danny. When he came down a walk and he stopped and looked down on the dragon.
His whole Kit's acting in this show is always the same. So I can't really say too much about
Jon
that.
pulled the Jon. You're like, what else is he gonna do?
Jon pulled the Jon, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, real quick. Does anybody how did everybody feel with the acting this season?
I really loved Emilia Clarke. Again, even though we might not be fans of how they did it. I loved all our conversational actors, Varys, Tyrion. Bronn was awkward, and I don't know what Jaime and Cersei were doing all season.
I feel like
excuse me. Jaime at the Battle of Winterfell was good, but other than that, I don't know what the hell he was doing.
So I feel like the acting has been consistent. It's the direction. They're only gonna deliver what they've been given. No one's acting any worse or better this season. I just feel like based on the material and the direction is what is why we're feeling these huge differences. But I don't think they've. I don't
did
think
we feel that the lines were worse?
Oh yeah.
Do we feel like
I
the
think
lines were worse?
there were some cheesier moments than normal. There
Yeah.
were some more soap opera-ish moments than normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what part of this show has, although it's of course got soap opera elements and it's all these different triangles and different storylines and all of that. It never came off as such. It didn't ever come off as majorly corny to me. And this season
Okay.
has had more corn than ever before. But real quick to answer your question, Afro, I think the acting was great. I mean, for as much as I disliked people, that's because mostly they did a great job doing their part, right? Like it. The rest of it is sure direction for sure, and then writing. For me, I didn't like the direction a lot of this went, but that didn't take away from the performances for me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Agreed.
I think I got a little tired of Kit. I felt like I wanted a little more variety from him or something. It was just like always the same, like confused mixed with like it was just I don't know.
But speaking of the chicken and the egg, when y'all read the books or listen to audiobooks, he's insufferable there too. I told him I listened to his chapters times 4 because I can't stand it. It's this. Yeah, it's the same. He's the same insufferable lout. I mean, his arc has taken a tick recently, but like, remember, he was always brooding and suffering and looking for his uncle.
Yo, when he walked back, when he arrived back at the Nice Watch, I was like, bitches.
Where you at? Where you at?
Yeah. Come on out, Benny.
Yeah.
I know you're here.
Yeah, but I think it does say something. Yeah. It does say something again, Af, about the writing and the way the directors handled the show for you to be like, okay, Kid again, because I was having the same feelings about Tyrion. I'm like, check the last tweet. I'm like, why is Tyrion talking again? Why are they still allowing him to use his mouth? Just be quiet.
Yeah,
he did Tyrion. Good though. He did
good. I did feel
that
way, but I also felt like the way I talked about John and his character, I felt like for Tyrion, it was, and I appreciated that they threw in like, shut the fuck up, and he was like, yeah, I'm talking again, but like this is what I do, and maybe this time I'll say something worth value, so I feel like they acknowledged it, and that like made me kind of happy.
Castro's Airbnb. What were your favorite locations, Castro?
One thing people can't say in this season is that it wasn't beautiful. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I think y'all did. It seemed like they got better. Like, I know I laud over how Drogon looked this season. Some of the locations were surprised. Like, remember Dorne? Okay? They could have shot that in a bodega and it would have been better. But Danny's RZA entrance.
I feel like you state your opinion like it's so absolute, and it's not. It's absolutely not.
You like Dorne? You like how Dorne looked?
Yeah.
Afro?
Yes, okay, I did.
Can we table that and go? Can we table that and revisit that at a rewatch?
We'll put a pin in it and move forward.
At a rewatch for sure, and I'll rewatch to show you what I really liked about it.
And you re-say what you got to say without snapping your neck that I can hear you doing right now.
I'm not snapping my neck. I am moving my hands. I'm grabbing air and pulling it back in.
Oh shit!
You better let that air go because you're gonna run out.
Spicy.
Sorry.
It's so spicy.
And
Plain. I'll start 57 and start calling anybody. Let's go.
What does it mean? Let's get back on track. You're talking here, Castro. It's so beautiful.
All right. Got you. Danny's RZA entrance. For reference, everybody go see the Triumph video to know what I've been talking about. The throne room scene. The scene before that with Drogon and Jon. And Drogon plays the Mighty Sphinx. Drogon himself is magnificent this season, especially this episode. The Stark walk-off quadruple epilogue with Arya on her colonizer tip, Sansa on her Queen North tip, Jon on his King Bee on the wall tip. But just all of those scenes look really gorgeous to me. and maybe distracted me from hating the episode a little more.
There's some truth.
But I mean, again, to see the Starks, and again, I even have more notes about the Starks later, but just to see the Starks come back, like from the depths, like remember the first season, father's head getting chopped off. I think Eddard and Caitlin couldn't be prouder, and what all their kids turned out to be. Even John, because I know the Night Watch part kind of sucks, but the fact that he went further and is going where the free folk are, his other home away from home. He doesn't have to be involved with any of this night and the air and Targaryenness. He can just go out there and be free. So I thought that was all that looked great, as well as yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Ambush.
So he pretty much named all the scenes in the episode.
The episode.
my two scenes were the throne room, definitely, and the Starks at the dock at the end. I thought those were like some of the most beautiful scenes in the episode.
Cool. Afro?
Was Bran wearing velvet?
Afro?
Can anybody confirm or deny? Sorry.
Velour.
Thank you,
Diddy suit.
With apple bottom on the cheeks. You can't see it because
shit.
Terrible.
Okay. All right.
Okay. One of my favorite shots was that moment where John was walking to find Dany, and you see this pile of ash snow, and it's actually Drogon who gets up, and then you zoom out and you see them like having this stare-off moment. I thought that was a really beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm.
Very dope.
Nice. You've named them all.
Yeah, that's everything.
That's everything. Upcoming.
One more. When Sansa actually sat down, and you saw the detail on her direwolf crown and the throne she was sitting on had direwolf.
Oh yeah,
facing upwards. That's not only her fit. She was, yeah, good call, Ash. I didn't know if she would go full bore with it, but great call.
Thank you.
So
You're
y'all see
welcome.
that
And
later?
next, Larry King live show. Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right, I'm done.
Intentional sigh.
Yeah, Ambush series. What's to come based on the episode we are currently reviewing?
I did see some stuff online. It was an IMDb question posed saying, were there hints at the end of this episode to, indicate some spinoffs? Or sequels, actually, is what they said. Sequels. And they were leaning towards us possibly getting, a story of what Arya is going to end up doing after this. There wasn't indicated in any of the spinoff conversations that, we've been having before this and was released by HBO. I feel like if they were to do an Arya sequel, at that point we have full confidence that the fans are leading the show. They're just like, they're leading these guys by their noses from here on out. Like, we can just dial out. I wouldn't even watch any of that shit. I wouldn't. Like, what's happening here? But I do think if there's enough rallying cry, they're going to do it. I honestly think they're going to do it.
Well, they said they were going to do prequels.
Right.
And maybe talk about the old Targaryens or the Doom of Valyria or something. Or Dragon Wars. Would y'all be interested in any prequels?
Yeah, previously you were interested in a prequel. Are you just completely soured on everything now?
Yeah, what they've done with this season has ruined my interest in whatever else they want to do with this world, because you've already shown me that you really don't care how much time we invest in the history and lore and all the theories and stuff. At any given point, y'all can go left. And the interesting part is with these prequels, are these books written? Because if these books aren't written, then it's more off the script, off the cuff shit, just from these two guys or whoever's writing, with no real.
Well, it's more lip service from
Yeah,
Martin
like,
about the prequels. So I think he's more heavily involved. He's talking about them more than even the show. So I think he's more involved with the prequels because that's all of the back history he's written somewhere. He has some of this stuff written down, like all these Dragon Wars and all that shit.
Well, I'll tell you this much: it's gonna take a good amount of convincing to get me to dial into those, like, for real. Seriously. Like how it did with Walking Dead. Like, it took a while for people to convince me to start checking out Walking Dead. Like, I think there may have been like 4 or 5 seasons already in the can. So I don't really trust them with this property anymore. I don't trust HBO with this shit. I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
They always say, like, there's nothing worse than, like, a scorned woman, but I feel like scorned men are, like, it's serious. And, Am, I feel like you are scorned. Like, they ripped your heart out.
I think you will appreciate this season a little more distance from it. Because again, math. 71-3.
You keep saying
71
that.
great
you keep
episodes
saying
to
that.
3.
That doesn't
because
mean anything.
Because it's true, though.
Why you
Castro,
said
it means
3?
a lot because when
right, because in his book, there's only been
it
3
was
bad
like
episodes this season.
Yeah, there's only like one episode that had a lot of Sam in it. It was kind of.
So this is why I'm saying.
Citadel.
This is why I'm saying that reasoning doesn't work. You're applying your scorecard to why I'm going to like this later. The last episode.
No. I'm making a point with
my
scorecard.
The last episode in the last season, that's a determining factor of the entire story. Like, this is what people are moving towards. This is why I keep going back to Sons of Anarchy. That show was incredible. That last episode was so bad.
I heard.
It was so bad. Why would you tell anyone? Yeah. I
But,
heard the same thing about
Sopranos.
Hear me out. I heard the same thing about Sopranos.
Fall back in love.
I heard the same thing about Sopranos.
Yeah,
and why
that did happen on Sopranos.
Right, and I never watched. I had no reason to ever watch that show. Everyone said it sucked because of the way it ended. So, I mean, I don't care how much like distance I'm at. I can definitely appreciate every season before this, but I don't because of the way they handled this last season. I can't trust what they're going to do with this property moving forward. It doesn't make sense for me to just be like, oh, y'all going to get it right this time. This was a conscious decision to do all the things they did with this season. Do
you feel the story is tied up in a bow for you and you've experienced it and you're just going to move on?
It's tied up in a bow.
You feel like it had an end, though?
Yeah, it definitely had an end.
Okay.
I didn't like some of the things they left, they left untied up, and I just feel like it could have had a better ending if they had spent more time, giving us shit.
What did you like, Am?
There was episode, what was it, right after the battle? I think was my favorite episode of the season. Like, there were definitely some high points throughout the season. I just can't, think of them off the top of my head right now. And even within this episode, there were some very beautiful scenes. And I agree with you, Castro. They spent time, and you can see it. They did spend money trying to give us some, like, really picturesque shots here. Like, cinematography was on a high note. But all of that aside, like, that can't distract me from things that just don't make sense. Bran being king doesn't make sense. Like, there's huge things that just don't make sense. And for us to be like, well, but the way it looked and, and all the fan fiction around making this stuff make sense, is just like, dude, it's just, I don't know. And maybe this is the comic book nerd in me. It's just like, I can't have logic rule the show and then you just throw that shit out the fucking window the whole last season. Like, it just, again, we took a bite for the traveling, and we allowed them to use teleportation this season. That should have been enough, guys. Like, come on. The rest of the shit, you're just like.
Right. But look,
I
missed Lost when it came on. When Lost came on TV, I did not watch it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Zilla, my best friend, I bring him up on the pod a lot. He was a Lost fanatic. So I watched Lost years later, and I remember people talking about the last season of Lost. And it's something, I'm not going to ruin it if you still want to watch it, but there's a plot device that they changed. But the way I was able to watch it unfettered without all the conspiracies, like us with Game of Thrones, it didn't come off that bad, and it actually was good television. So I'm just saying, like, this 8-season epic, if somebody comes and finds this and dusts it off, I don't think this season will be its death knell. I think people will see it, shrug their shoulders at the end and enjoy it for what it was. I'm grateful to be a fan of the show. And I was glad that, we all took this ride together. And I think you give some time, I don't think it'll be as harsh as you're seeing it now. That's just my opinion.
I think you have a point, Castro. Everything gets a little bit less angsty with time. There's another point there too. We are invested in this show in a different way than a lot of fans. There are definitely plenty of fans that are like us, that recap, that do podcasts, that there's plenty out there. But there are a lot of people that just watch this show and watch it like they do any other show. So yes, it's a good show. Yes, it's engaging, but they're not going deep diving into anything. They're missing a lot of what's going on because we're trying, like we're paying attention to way more. They're not going to be upset by it. Like plenty of people at work that watch it were just like, yeah, I think it was okay. It was good. I liked it. And I think it matters how you watched it. Castro just gave us a total clue. If you are able to watch it unfettered and you're not in the moment of it happening, like all of these people that binged really quickly and got up to this and then it's the end, it could very well be satisfying for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just watching it a different way. So I don't know. I think you'll be less upset about it later, but maybe never enough to make you care about any of it again. Because you're pretty upset.
Yeah. The binge watchers.
Damn, I feel you.
I mean, because I'm like, I would still tell someone to watch Sons, and that ending was awful. But like, I wouldn't say it's not worth knowing that show.
When
you I sympathize with your disappointment when you add 2-year wait and then the shortened seasons.
Right.
You could be like, well, what did we wait for? I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Like what you mentioned about Lost is why I'll never watch the show. So many hardcore fans that have been telling me Lost for years were so disappointed with the way that show ended. It was like, oh, so then, no, I'm not touching that. That doesn't make any sense. You guys hate it. Like, you guys have loved this show for years, and now you hate it because of that ending. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I think binge watching definitely plays a factor, though. Say again?
People love Lost now because of the time pass. Like, it's definitely a different, you watch it different. Remember, that was a serial every week. Like, same thing with us. Because we experienced that 2-year wait in real time. A lot of fans did not experience that.
Didn't have to wait. Yeah.
Right.
So that has an effect on us long time periods than it does binge watchers or the like.
And also, it's not like this is some, like, it's not like we're in a weird space. Like, we're seeing this a lot, like, all over the internet. A lot of people are dissatisfied. This isn't something like we're pulling out of the clouds. Like, this isn't something we're imagining. A lot of people are dissatisfied with the show, which was basically looked at as the best show ever. So, it's, it's not unrealistic to think that people are just not going to fuck with it.
Indeed. Fair enough.
Do you think any of that has to do with, like, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Expectations, like when you set expectations for something that's like super high and like it doesn't get met, or like, you know what I mean? Like your expectations don't match, or you think they just fucked it up?
I tried not to have expectations of the show once they showed. Once Ned got killed, my only expectation for the show was, oh, they're gonna throw us for crazy loops every chance they get. They're gonna, like the Red Wedding. We kept seeing things that just wasn't happening in TV shows. And then this whole, not to say the whole last season, but this final season, we got a lot of regular TV show shit. So the expectation I had was set by them, from them. It wasn't like I expected them. It wasn't like I was upset because the Night King didn't make it to King's Landing and certain arcs didn't play out the way I theorized. It was just the level of entertainment dropped, and that was the decision they made. So that, in that way, yeah, there was an expectation that they set that I felt like wasn't met. But I don't think I put any, unrealistic stuff on them because they showed they can deliver that level of television, and they just decided not to.
In hindsight, were we satisfied with the Night King and his death? Considering they, I thought they did it in a different order than I expected it. Were we all satisfied with the Night King and how it ended?
I was wondering if there was going to be a little hint that there might be more with the Night King or the White Walkers in this closing, especially as John headed into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, we're going to get
right.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there was so much buildup, and then it was just like, it was done.
Yep.
So.
It was whack.
Yeah.
I was not satisfied.
Yeah.
And Castro, just really quickly, I wasn't satisfied with that, and I tried very hard to reserve major judgment because I was hopeful that even though I didn't want it delivered that way, I was going to take them telling me in hindsight, right? Like, I was going to take it. And then they fucking didn't. That was just the end. That is deeply disappointing to me.
Okay.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The Night King and that whole story just being done. Like, I love the death. The death is great. Why the fuck was he ever there? Like, you have to give more than Sam just being like, you're the memory card and he gotta have you. Like, I need more than that.
Right.
Agreed. I put that on Brain and how Brain was and didn't act in.
No, well, he's the king now, and you like that, so.
No, that.
Damn. Apparently you like that shit. So.
Apparently you like that shit,
that.
so you fine with what Brand do.
Three-eyed raven.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Sorry, Castro.
The Three-eyed raven made it where once he started becoming established, it was him versus Night King instead of like John versus Night King. And that took a little bit down. All right.
I think that's it, guys.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Nope. We're done.
I have something to say. While I do have to admit that I was not a fan of the pacing and the light speed plot drives of the past 2 seasons, I can't help but be in sheer awe of the craft, care, and execution in creating this masterpiece. I was just honored to be a fan since Tyrion had all blonde hair and Salador Sand vowed to fuck Queen Regent Cersei. Thank y'all.
Bring back Nymeria.
A podcast has no name. Are coming out with t-shirts. Bring back Nymeria. We support.
Yep. Keep our Patreon.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Somebody say something poetic or sing the theme music or something.
That's your job. That's literally the 2 things you add to this. So your turn.
It's so hard.
Oh, he went back.
No,
He went back.
Okay.
All right. All right. We did this to ourselves.
To Westeros.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, John.
Excellent. You're still here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of A Podcast Has No Name. If this is your first time checking us out, please subscribe. We are available on Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify, and pretty much everywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Podcast Has No Name. Deuces.
Subscribe, please. Click and comment.